Stuka Joe here from the 6th Bellota Con in Badajoz. It is January 26th. It's about, what time is it? It's a good question. Here in Spain, it's 4:55 p.m. So that's 5 hours later than the East Coast of the United States. And we are live. We did an hour walk this morning. Everything came out fine in terms of the video, which is a huge improvement from last year. We're using other equipment, so we're very happy with that. And we're going to start our afternoon walk. We got more people coming in. So let's take a look with the other camera so you can see this is a view of the room here, of the hall, which this year is open completely. Last year was only 2/3 of this space was used, and the tables, because of COVID, were separated. Now we got a lot more tables and a lot more people than last year. So we will be taking a walk very soon. See what's going on now. We saw some interesting games this morning. One coming up by Legion Wargames on the 7 Years' War, designed by Serge Betancourt, and artwork by Niels Johansson. So that was pretty interesting, and also some games from NAC Wargames. We're gonna see if we can take a look. And we have John Halley. I think it's Halley, right? I've been saying your name, Haley. I think it's Halley. So John, welcome. We just started, and we're going to do the walk in a few moments. So sit down here just a second. Okay, so the venue is very comfortable. We got vendors also. We got people showing these huge maps, which I showed in the morning. So let's get back to the view of the camera here. Everything's working fine. So we'll do a walk. This morning's walk took about 1 hour. It's going to be shorter, but always stuff happens. And take a closer look at games. So let's start the walk. Take a look at what's been played on the tables and who's arrived. Okay, so here we go. So this morning we took a look at the maps, so we're not going to start there. Quique Espárrago.
Me habían dicho que había tenido un achuchón en Madrid.
Ah, sí, pero estamos bien, estamos bien.
Vale. Mi madre también tiene eso.
Estamos en vivo aquí.
Está muy vivo. Estamos
en vivo.
Está un poquito más delgado.
Transmitiendo en vivo, ¿ah?
Bueno, está un poquito más delgado.
¿Acelerado?
Delgado.
Ah, delgado, gracias.
Está mejor.
Pues a ver si tú sales que... Estamos... Sí, tú estás...
Preparando la úlcera.
Ah, ese. Pues vamos ahorita por allá.
Vale,
Okay, cómo no. That's Quique Espárrago. He's the designer of Congress of Vienna, which is in GMT's P500. He has a game, which I saw last year, which I suppose it'll be in a more advanced state this year, a game on the Peninsular War. That is the war between the Spanish and the British in Napoleonic times, which is certainly looking forward to that. So that looks interesting. So here we have Dracuideas, the games that they are carrying around. Let's see here. Okay. Still nobody playing over here. We have a game of Salahadin. Let me see if I can switch cameras here. It's one of those games which uses blocks to denote how many troops you have, the strength of the troops, but they don't really move. Yes, he brings his dog, and his dog's name, her name is Chispy. She's one of the attractions here at the Bellota con Chispy, and she doesn't destroy anything. So yes, that's Chispy. This is a pet-friendly wargaming convention. So I got here the games by Trafalgar Editions, games that they're selling. I've done videos on some of those. It's in Panzerkampf, and Navíos de Línea did a video on that. They also have books. And they have a Waterloo. They're play testing their Waterloo, which is it uses miniature rules, and basically you can see it there. ¿Cómo está usted? Bien. Muy bien. Muy bien, todo bien. Sí. Oh, this one's one that I wanted to take a look at. ¿Cómo estamos? We got here, this is a North Africa game by Trafalgar Editions. They're play testing too. Africa Corps 1941. So this one is a game with counters, and it has areas. An area movement Africa game. That's interesting, because mostly it's all hexes.
A mí lo que me gusta del reglamento, tío, es que tienes muchas posibilidades. O sea, puedes recrear una batalla como Trafalgar, una batalla como Abukir y una batalla como la del sitio este de los daneses. Y es que, a ver, sí, cuando le alimentan fruta con cohetes a los daneses. Claro, eso no lo contemplo.
Ciudad de Patriota, that's the name.
Pero sí que se puede.
Sí.
A ver, te vas leyendo la historia.
This is Ciudad de Patriotas. This is the rebellion that happened during the Napoleonic Wars in Spain, in Madrid. I think this was to overthrow Joseph I, ¿verdad? Esto fue para cuando se alzaron contra Pepe Botella.
Bueno, todavía no había llegado.
Todavía no ha llegado.
El Murat, Murat.
Ah, Murat. Murat era el comandante en París, en Madrid.
El comandante Berza, ¿no le llamaban? ¿Cómo es? El comandante Berza, ¿no? Porque iba tan comperifollado ahí el tío con sus rulos, vestimentas,
sus trabuzones
estrafalarias.
Era muy fashionístico.
Eso es. Bueno, pues este es el comienzo de la guerra de la independencia.
Okay,
no es la independencia, sino se llama la independencia o la guerra de España, ¿no?
Okay, this is the start of the War of Independence in Spain, which is the war between the Spanish against the French, because the Spanish were allies of the French until they rose against the French. Y eso empieza en Madrid entonces.
Sí.
Starts in Madrid.
El estallido es en Madrid, sí.
And you have a map of Madrid divided in zones here.
Mira, la Plaza de Toros. Este sería el Museo del Prado.
You got the Museo del Prado there.
Alcalá, Atocha. La Puerta del Sol aquí,
Puerta del Sol, yes.
el Palacio Real aquí. El Palacio Real, sí. El Palacio de Oriente.
Y las áreas tienen distintos colores. The areas are differently colored. What does that mean?
Porque Madrid está dividido en 8 distritos, que son los colores,
okay.
y cada distrito en 8 barrios.
Each district is divided into 8 barrios, which is,
Sí. Pon cara.
so, but each district is a color, okay?
El arte es, oye,
Esto es, claro, este es el fusilamiento para poner al pueblo, pues elegí esto, porque digo, no creo que me pongan ninguna multa, ¿no?
eso ya es...
Es como libre de derecho todo.
Sí, no, de hecho, por supuesto, un cuadro que tiene más de
Y
200
todo eso
años.
son láminas que he cogido yo y las he ido haciendo.
For example, you see a map here,
¿Cómo se llama eso?
tells you the
Photoshop.
different districts. You see
Te
them?
estoy hablando hace muchos años.
These are the different districts. Que los franceses están acuartelados en distintos sitios.
Es correcto, es correcto.
So the French are garrisoning different parts of Madrid
No sé, sí.
when the rebellion starts.
Claro, es muy simple, pero también es el gato y el ratón.
Ese tiene el mapa que no es el real, este es el real. Este es el real porque mira, aquí está la zona donde juegan a la pelota vasca. Y eso no está en el otro mapa.
Bueno, igual que está en el Palacio de Versalles. El famoso cuadro el juramento del juego de la pelota.
What else we have
Cuando
here?
el
We got a
Estado se
combat
reúne y dice,
table.
no, nosotros no salimos de aquí hasta la buena constitución.
Bueno, claro,
Ese famoso cuadro.
es correcto. Pues aquí había una cosa parecida que luego Pepe Botella, lo que decía José, tira toda esta zona para hacer lo que son los jardines del Palacio.
Sin presión, José Carlos.
Mueve ya. Sí. ¿Qué te parece?
Qué maravilla. Oye, el 3D hace maravilla.
Vamos a dejar este, que mola más.
Esto es un addon para un Wargaming.
Pero, en fin.
Esto para
So
un...
they're gonna start a game here.
No, que tengan problemas. Bueno, y ojo, que lo dices hostia y los abogados cristianos te defienden en el suyo. Claro. Pero si dices coño, peor. Mucho peor. Te meten en la cárcel. Mucho peor.
Pues no hace rayos y centellas. ¿Recordáis de Tintín y Adolf?
Diantres.
¿Cómo decir esos rayos y centellas? Rayos y centellas.
No, pero puedo utilizar una frase del Madrid castizo de hace 200 años.
That's the one I want to keep an eye on. It's interesting. This is Gonzalo and Miguel Santa Cruz. They have headquarter games. So they got The Mission, and this one is Assault on Madrid, which is a remake of the same game that was published on in Paddles magazine. Dani Altet. Sí, voy a estar cubriéndolo más en detalle. Es un juego que me interesa también. So the headquarter games they're setting up here. Los hermanos Santa Cruz, ¿cómo están ustedes? Estamos transmitiendo en vivo. Ahorita pasamos por acá cuando tengan...
Vamos a aterrizar.
Pues muy bien, bienvenido. Pues muy bien, estaremos por aquí pronto. Ok, cómo no. Let's see what we have here. Invasions. How you doing?
Fine, and you?
We're live.
Yeah, still alive.
Yes, we're...
even old, but live. So,
But I'm here, let me introduce you. I'm here with Philippe.
Thibaut.
Thibaut, and you have...
This is a game made by my new company called Fief England.
Okay.
It's based on the Fief game, which is a very famous French diplomatic board game, of plots, treasons, and deals
Oh, okay.
in the medieval epoch. And this one is based only on England, and with new rules and new characters and new game features.
Oh, uses the same system.
It's the same system, but with
that-
improvements and lighter rules to make it faster.
Was that the game published by
Asynchron. And by Academy Games.
Academy Games FIFA? Oh, so this is the system, but
The
now
system,
for
but
England.
improved and faster, and new characters. You have queens, you have Vikings, you have a lot of stuff specific to England.
Okay, interesting. Let me put
Yeah.
the microphone. Can you put this is a magnet you can use beneath the cloth. No, you can put it off. Yeah, you can put
You
it.
think
There.
it's
Yeah,
okay?
that'll work fine. Thank you.
Right.
So can you show us?
Yes.
I don't have the original game.
Yeah, in fact, this one has exactly the same base rules.
Yes.
More or less, you have to be the king.
Okay.
Or if you play with an ally, you have to score 5 points of victory, and you get victory points by getting titles like Duke of Cornwall or Viscount of Wales or whatever. And of course being named king or queen, because in this game, different from France, the ladies can be holding titles.
Okay, they can hold titles.
Yeah, there are a new feature also. You have servants, which are characters that give you extra bonuses, like Nostradamus giving you, let's say, special powers.
Okay.
You have an entertainer. You have a Muslim assassin, who a bodyguard protecting you from things. So we brought to the game more little funny features to give a new atmosphere for the game to be played faster and to entertain, let's say, a shorter playing time by having only 4 players instead of the standard 6 that we had
Moves faster,
in the old
4.
one.
Okay.
And so the game is, this is the first prototypes that you see here.
It looks very nice for a first prototype.
Yeah, it's the job was well done by the guys. And of course, you have the usual stuff that you find in Fief, the calamities like plague, bad weather. A new one, the Viking raid, which is more typical to England. And of course, the gameplay is the same. That you bring up your fief, build up your economy with meals and abbeys and these kind of things.
Yep.
And then there is a diplomatic phase where you get elected to become the queen.
So, it's a political,
Yeah.
economic, it combines
Yes,
military
but
game.
I would say one of the keys of the game, like was the case in Fief initially, is the plot aspect, the backstabbing, deals behind the table, etc. So this element, which was crucial to the gameplay, is still there. And in addition, we changed the context, make it faster, simpler, less players, a more focused area. It's still the same feeling that you get when you are playing the previous version, which was on France or a random medieval country.
Okay, good. We have a Jester, you're watching. This is kind of up your alley. This is what you kind of play a lot. So I think you're going to be interested in this.
Yeah.
We got my viewers are commenting. So
Sure.
This is going to be published by International Team.
Yes, this is a new company. I just started. In fact, for this history, International Team used to exist 40 years ago. It was a very famous Italian company.
I saw that. It was Italian. I said,
initially, but we bought the game, the rights, the name and everything, and restarted the company. Philippe Moucheboeuf, who is the designer of Fief, has joined us. And he's re-editing his game with his company, and we will come up with 6 new games this year in different fields: family games, card games, race game on for the 24 hours of the Mans celebration. It's 100 years old this year. We have quite a few projects, and of course some war games as well. We are republishing, for example, if we reach the numbers, the War and Peace from Mark McLaughlin.
Oh yeah.
On the 7th edition, or with the upgrade kits. The game will become digital as well, because the company works on both fields, board games and digital games.
Okay.
So this one has been on Kickstarter a few months ago, very successful.
And it's going to come out in board game?
It comes first as a computer game, and if we have enough orders, we have a P500 program.
Okay. Then you do the board game.
We will do the reprint. We already have something like about 150 pledgers who want the board.
And can people from the United States participate in that P500?
Yes.
So
it's open to everyone.
They would have to go where specifically?
The website will be open soon. Here, you have here to pledge on the digital version. I'll give you the email, website address. It's already everywhere. You can find the campaign on Kickstarter. It was last October. So it's all over the place. You have all the information, the updates there. And Mark, the original designer of the game, is following up. It's part of the venture.
Okay.
And what we agreed is that if we get enough orders for the reprint, then it will be the 7th edition of the game. Because it had already, since 40 years, got 6th edition of this game, which is very popular.
Yes.
And this one will come with new scenarios, a set of playing cards to include some events and, let's say, a little randomness in the game.
Cool.
And, of course, a brand new...
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But I used to play a lot the Avalon Hill version.
Yes, that's the one I had. I discovered it when I was 18. And when
fabulous.
Mark came to me and say, oh, and I discussed with him, I said, would you like to see it on the computer? And he was so excited that we worked together, and the game is supposed to be out. It's already in beta testing. People can buy it now and test it. And the release date is expected for the birthday of the Emperor on the August the 15th this year.
Oh, great.
So we are now fine-tuning. We have done all the scenarios. We are working on the AI. And the reprint, depending on the number of pre-orders, will be maybe this year or next year. It all depends if we get the right quantities.
Okay, so
because printing is another business.
Yeah.
And I have also, this collection also is very popular now. It's a computer games only. But if very successful, we'll do board games also. But
Spain at war.
yeah, this is one of the projects coming out this year. The SGS collection, the Strategic Game Studio, has already 12 titles in the market, only computer games.
Ah, okay.
And our most famous is one named Africa Corps, which is all the Rommel campaign in North Africa. But I just released last week one called Typings on the Typing War in China.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge success there because we translated on China. And in October we released a Korean War, the complete Korean War, which also has been a good success. So this is a collection where you can pay, now we have 12 conflicts already covered, we have 6 more coming this year at the same engine. So people who know how to play in one will know to play all the games. So that's a lot of easiness in the learning curve. And the game has also we have the potential to make more subjects depending on who is interested in what. So we have a regular, let's say, polls, and we ask the players what you like to see. So this one, of course, for Spain, come on top. It will be done by Miguel, with the original designer of a game called España 36, which was already a computer game. And then this year, the next one in May will be NATO's Nightmare. It will be an hypothetical war in central Germany in '85. Then we will have Fall Vice in September, which will be the campaign of Poland. We will have Stalingrad coming soon, probably in October. And
but these are all computer.
Yes, they are all computers. Some have the potential to make board games, but the problem with board game is always the same. You need to have a minimum quantity to a valid print run, otherwise the cost is crazy.
Yeah.
So we evaluated that we need about 500 units to make a valid print run. It's more or less the same system like GMT. I mean, you need the 500 orders just to start production.
Yeah, I understand.
So we will start first with War and Peace reprint. And if this one or Stalingrad games, especially we have good hopes, there will be a massive Kickstarter campaign in March on this one. It's a new range in this collection, which I call the Battle Series, which will be more or less like the Stormover system. That is smaller areas, little cramped battle in tiny places like Stalingrad. The next title will be UE 68 in Vietnam. We'll have Dien Bien Phu, Madrid, a lot of these special tiny battles.
Okay.
And the collection will be presented, middle of March on Kickstarter, just to present it, to make it known. It's already under production, but we need to know, for example, what kind of battles the players would like to see first. For example, in the Civil War, we'll have the Battle of Fort Donelson, for example. We will have even modern battles like maybe Grozny or Sarajevo, whatever. Okay. So it all depends on let's say the first 4 games are already prepared and under development. And the rest of the list, the order of appearance, will be depending on the player's request. Okay. So we will explain that.
But you got that polling system that will give you their input.
Yeah. In fact, if they get one of the games during the Kickstarter, they get votes. and with their vote, they can choose whatever they want in the line and say, okay, I want this first, this second, etc. And depending on the votes, then the order of production will be adapted. And if the campaign is successful, we even plan to have one of the pledge saying that, okay, whatever battle you want, we do it for you.
Wow.
So this will be a heavy price, but more or less, with this system, we need about 6 to 8 months to produce a game, because the main work is to do the research, like order of battle, the event, everything which is serious, so it takes time. The rest of the production, because the engine is now very stable and simple, the physical production is faster.
Okay.
But what is long is the research. Because the content has to be faithful, and so it always takes time. So we usually partner with players who are expert in these battles, so at least we can trust the content of the product.
Okay, cool. Well, Philippe, thanks a lot for the explanation. I'll be giving the rounds, and you're going to be showing some more games, right?
Yeah, and I have my friends here who are showing more games as well.
I'll be doing the rounds. I know Gonzalo and Miguel just arrived, so
we'll be here for the full show. So anytime, if you have more questions,
sure,
just feel free to be here.
I'll be here too. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Okay, you too. Is Philippe, and so that was Philippe Thibault. Got tables here with Nuts Publishing. Let's see, we got the Oaken Knight from Tennessee. And a Boilogy. Un placer para mí. Pleasure to bring the convention. Yeah, seems like a great guy, and a lot of games coming up. Mostly computer games, but they're gonna do some board games there. And this is Port Arthur. How you doing? Yeah, I saw this one in the promotion for La Bellota. Let me see. We got Scott Moore's here. Okay.
So this is the Japanese fleet. It's in Japan at the moment. The Russian fleet is in Vladivostok and Port Arthur. The Japanese have landed some troops, but not many so far. The Russians are expecting next turn some reinforcements, and currently Russia is ahead on victory points.
Okay, cool. So this is I like these games that are kind of minimalistic. There's few pieces, but a lot is happening at the same time. Because you have there the Japanese troops, and you have the different points where the Russians are. The Russians, I guess, have their fleet is all they have, right? They can't turn back to well, they're sailing from where? From Vladivostok?
Vladivostok and Port Arthur, and the reinforcements will come from Diego Suarez.
Okay, so they got various fleets there.
Yeah, but they can't push back the Japanese on land. This is abstracted, representing the
of where they are advancing the Japanese advance. Okay.
So the Japanese must reach Mukden in order to have a chance to win the game.
Okay.
If they fail to reach there, then they've lost. If they reach this point here, they can get some victory points. They reach here. Eventually, they can potentially capture Port Arthur and destroy any Russian ships in Port Arthur.
So how do you resolve the naval battles?
It's quite an interesting mechanism.
There are some strength here. So the strength give you the number of strength. Give you the total number of strength of your fleet. So you have to roll number of dice, which is the player's choice. You know, up to him, from 1 dice to whatever dice he wants.
Up to the 6 dice.
6 dice, yeah. So basically, he has to roll less than the numbers of his strength or equal in order to get the hits. If he rolls more, the additional dice they cannot be registered as hits. So it's a risk. Like, do you want to roll a lot and maybe you will hit a lot, or you just want to roll few and you conserve and make sure that you roll this too.
So missing has a price.
Yes,
Yes,
missing has a price. Yeah.
And what does that reflect? If you miss a lot, you burn more ammo, or what does that reflect?
Well,
When you miss,
if you roll equal to or less than the strength, any doubles or triples are critical hits.
okay.
And you, as the player inflicting the hits, can decide which ships take the damage. And then you apply the normal hit, so each die you've rolled is a normal hit. But if the sum of your dice is greater than the strength, you don't get any critical hits, and also you'll get maybe slightly fewer hits. Critical hits are really important because ships, once they're reduced, you need to destroy them, you need a number of hits equal to this value here. So for example,
I see,
this ship here, once reduced, you need another further 2 hits to eliminate
Yeah, I see it.
the counter. But with critical hits, you can sink a ship of any strength which has already been reduced.
Oh, I see.
There are some stronger ships, for example. They require 4 normal hits to be eliminated, or a single critical hit.
Okay. So once it's on its critical side, on the back side, it's really easy to sink it.
With critical hits, yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the battle really is slightly gambling in a way, a little bit push your luck perhaps. Battles can potentially last a number of rounds, but each turn both players roll a die. Whoever rolls the highest die gets a chance to activate a fleet for movement or combat.
Okay.
We keep rolling. Potentially one player can get multiple activations in a row, but as soon as we both roll the same value, the turn ends. So you're never sure when the.
So there's a lot of
turn will end.
uncertainty of who goes when and if you're going to have enough
Exactly.
time to do what you want to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds cool. And this game is under development still, right?
It's going to be released later this year.
Later this year. Okay. And this is by Nuts Publishing, right?
Nuts Publishing, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
this is the second in the Combat Rations series. The first was 300, Earth and Water.
300, yeah.
This
Yes.
is the same designer, Japanese designer, and it's the same format, same size of box. But the game itself is very different from 300.
I can see, yeah, but it looks very, very interesting. Very interesting situation. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So where we were? Oh yeah, I have.
Okay, so we continue here. Still have a lot of people setting up.
What's it?
That's the Oaken Knight.
You forgot your microphone.
Okay. I think I went back. Okay. There you go.
Jose?
See? Jose. Oh, I left the microphone. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let's continue here. I think these are the guys from Buka Simulations that arrived, so they're going to be setting up. So we'll definitely be coming by this table soon. Give them a chance to set up. So let's see what's here. Batalla, what is that? That one I haven't seen. Cinco Ejércitos. This looks like some fantasy things. We're playing Rostov 41 from MMP here. This is Hitler's Third Reich, reading the rules. This is Nevsky. Saludos. ¿Cómo están ustedes?
Muy bien.
Qué bueno verlo.
A verlo desde la Bellota 3 que no te veía.
Sí, sí, sí. ¿Cómo estás?
Estado muy bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, bien. ¿Y el sombrero qué pasó?
Hemos venido del club batallador que organizamos las batalladores 2023 en Zaragoza, no las perdáis.
Eso.
Aprovechamos y hacemos propaganda, José.
Es que como Puerto Rico queda tan cerquita. ¿No?
Ya, Puerto Rico queda tan cerquita, pero vamos,
Sí.
si quieres
No.
otras jornadas como estas, vete a Zaragoza.
Sí, no sé, me han hablado muy bien del club batallador.
La gente lo pasó muy bien,
Sí,
200
sí.
personas estábamos en el hotel y la gente lo pasó muy bien. ¿No?
¿En qué mes es eso?
¿Cómo?
¿En qué mes es?
En principios de noviembre.
Principio de noviembre.
Ya lo anunciaremos por redes convenientemente y tal. El problema es que como que habrán 200, ya podéis dar prisa porque se llenó la ventana.
No,
y
yo sé.
obviamente sí, y fue un éxito, luego hazte a la idea de que volverá a serlo.
No, yo sé, yo sé. Vamos a ver si pudiera ir en noviembre.
Ojalá.
Un poco difícil para mí por mi
Serás
trabajo,
bienvenido.
pero les deseo mucho éxito. Qué bueno.
Ya lo tuvimos, así que solo se trata de repetir y continuar.
Va muy bien.
Muchas gracias.
Ok, cómo no. So we have here. Let me see here. Let's go this way. This one I didn't see this morning. This is one of those Normandy games. I don't know, Heroes of Normandy. Well, yeah, but all the shopping she can do here is Wargaming, so I don't think I'm in a lot of trouble. Okay, so let's continue here. See what else. This is for the people, 2 games. ¿Cómo estamos? This is Mark Herman's For the People. You got 2 games running at the same time. This is Heroes of Stalingrad. ¿Cómo estamos? Esto es Heroes of Stalingrad.
Te
¿Cómo
saludé el
estamos?
otro día en tu directo desde el hotel en la calle Alcalá.
Ah, pues mira qué bien, qué bien.
Bueno, tienes allí muchos vídeos.
Sí, 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 sí,
Al
bueno.
día siguiente iba a ser Atlántica.
Ah, sí, 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 sí.
¿Compraste un juego?
Compré un juego español, se llama Requiem. Es un juego sencillo de la Guerra Civil Española.
¿Lo pasaste bien en Madrid?
A ver, lo pasé muy bien, sí.
Sí, bien.
Así que, qué bueno que estamos aquí en la Bellota. Que disfruten. So that's Heroes of Normandy. And this back here looks like this is Stalingrad by Mark Simonich's Stalingrad over here. Okay. This is, so you can see the area back here. It's still, the days that most people come is Friday and Saturday, not today because, I mean, some people work here in Spain, but you're going to have a lot of people arriving tomorrow. And Saturday is the most concurred day. There's a night where they give out Bellota ham and wine, which also is kind of cool. So let's keep on walking this way. Oh, I know there's some fellas playing Angola somewhere. Let's see if I can. It's Vietnam. ¿A ti te gusta mucho este juego? ¿Lo juegas en todas las convenciones? David, like.
A mí porque yo no soy famoso, pero lo juega siempre conmigo.
También es verdad, siempre lo juego con Enrique.
Siempre lo juega, sí, le gusta un montón. Eso dice, lo tengo que probar, sí, dice mucho del juego. This is the Vietnam game by, I think this is the Compass edition. It's designed by John Gorkowski. Let me see if I can get the name here. ¿Cómo que se llama este? Hearts and Minds. Sí. It's Hearts and Minds. We have here the Charge of the Three Kings. La carga de los tres reyes. Ahí estamos. And over here, Roads to Gettysburg. There's a following for the American Civil War here in Spain because there's always some great campaigns of the American Civil War being played. So here we have the Spanish ulcer. And we have the Star of the Bellota con Chispi. ¿Cómo estamos? Saludos.
Hola, José.
Hola, Chispi. ¿Qué pasó, Popi?
¿Qué se va contigo? Está aburrida.
Mira, Chispi. ¿Qué pasa, Popi? Qué chulería.
¿Has venido solo o has venido con tu mujer?
No, mi mujer está por ahí. This is a game that I had a chance to do some video on the last convention. So we'll be asking Kike later about how's the development, and I think Chispi likes the game too. Okay. We have some more Downfall of the Third Reich. This is the Do It Games section. Do It Games. We have Statecraft. ¿Cómo estamos? Saludos. Esto es, así se llama el juego, Statecraft.
Sí, es un prototipo de este hombre.
Ah, ok. ¿Seguro?
Juego político.
Ah, sí, ya veo.
Esto es interesante.
This is a political game.
Bueno, no para contra aquí, sino para saber que no cada 4 años.
Dando la vuelta.
En mi caso, por lo menos, es un ejercicio muy de picos. Hay veces que estoy muy activo y estoy todos los días haciendo diferentes fases.
Estoy dando la ronda por ahí, está bien. Ok, gracias. Okay. Saludos, ¿cómo estamos?
Muy bien.
Ah, por fin, Víctor Catalá.
Sí, claro.
Le deseo muchas felicitaciones por los
Y tú hiciste
Downfall.
un vídeo muy bueno.
Sí, me enviaron un prototipo y fue un placer porque es el tipo de juego. Yo soy medio minimalista. A mí me gustan los juegos que tienen pocas fichas, pero pasan muchas cosas.
Exacto. Por eso te gustan mis juegos.
Sí, sí, y me encantó ese. ¿Y este es tuyo también?
Sí.
Ah, pero este no estaba la otra vez el año pasado.
No, este es de este año, pero tardaré un poquito en publicarlo.
Ah, ok.
Es las dos guerras púnicas.
Okay.
Va del
Ah, qué bien.
241 hasta el 201 antes de Cristo.
Pues me gustaría cuando tengas un tiempo, que 10 o 15 minutos, que me pueda enseñar el juego y lo filmamos con calma.
Este sí. Sí.
¿Lo vas a tener todo el fin de semana aquí?
Mira, yo.
Sí.
¿Va a estar aquí? Ah, pues
Hasta
está bien.
¿Tú estás hasta el domingo también?
Sí, estoy todo el tiempo.
Un rato te lo explico y te lo enseño.
Ok, pues muchas gracias, Víctor. Okay. That was Víctor Catalá. He's the designer of the Downfall games, and he has a new one, Hegemony, about the Punic Wars. So, be interviewing him for him to show me the game. That looks really interesting. I really like the Downfall system. Well, if we can call it a system. It's a very minimalistic, very few pieces, but a lot happens. So here in the Bellota third generation area, where we're taking a break. This is a prototype on I don't know what. Okay, I have some questions here. El evento hasta el domingo, until Sunday. Usually by Sunday midday, everybody's left. So it's the best nights are Friday and Saturday. And yes, the dog is well behaved. That's true. So here we have the von Manstein's Triumph, Maskeoka, which is the parent company of NAC Wargames. We have the game on the 30 Years War here going on with Daniel Hernandez Iniesta. He saw him this morning. We're playing here. And the games are going to have here Asedio de Bailer. That's a game that's going to be on the Spanish garrison in Philippines. A game I saw last year, which is really interesting. Here we have Asedio al Andalus, which is about the Arab kingdoms here in Spain, the time of the Reconquista. El Mayor Desafío de Roma. This is a new one for me. It's a game about the Roman Empire. Malvinas is going to be here. It's Chema Rando. He was here last year. This is a two-player game in the Falklands War. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Cómo está la cosa? Saludos.
¿Cómo va?
Bien, bien. Estamos en directo aquí. ¿Cómo estamos? Vi que traíste el Malvinas.
Sí, ya a ver si le damos ya lo definitivo.
El empujón final.
El empujón final.
Que espero que sea así. Que sea así.
Yo creo que sí, que ya está para testear a full.
Pues qué bueno. Pues estaremos dando unas vueltas por ahí viéndolo.
Perfecto.
Ok, cómo no. Okay. We have Badajoz 1936 raging on here. And we have the other side of the hill here. Carlos Márquez, ¿cómo estamos? Qué bueno verte. ¿Cómo tú estás?
He visto que estuviste en Granada y no avisaste.
¿Tú vives en Granada?
Yo vivo en Granada.
Ah, estuve en Granada,
no
sí.
No dijiste nada, pero vi el vídeo ya después que lo publicaste y digo, pero ¿cómo has estado aquí?
Sí,
no,
no,
te
no.
lo había enseñado.
Eso es precioso, Granada es increíble.
Que te guste, pero
Granada es increíble.
haberte enseñado y podía haberte llevado por allí. A ver
No, volveremos otra vez y lo que...
Pues avisa, ya lo sabes.
Lo que yo vi en Granada fue muy poco. No da, un día no da.
Voy a clase nuevo de Montaña. ¿Qué tal?
Pues todo bien.
He visto que te has venido 2 semanas, 3 semanas.
Sí, de hecho, estamos en directo ahora mismo.
Ah.
Así que,
encantado de saludarlo.
Para English speaking people, we have here
I'm
Carlos
from
Márquez.
Spain.
And he's the designer of, among other things, this game, which I've heard that it's going to be published by NAC. It's getting published, right?
It is. It is going to be published, both in English and in Spanish.
And
There's going to be an English version and a Spanish version.
And this is one I'm going to get. Because I'm really interested in this game. And does this game have any roots with? I look at it like it looks like a States of Siege game, but on steroids.
Yeah, there's something like that because there's like this expansion of Germany, and then there is this falling back on Germany and this slow grinding fight.
Yeah.
It's a lot of suffering for the players because they take the place of the German generals in the Second World War.
Yeah.
So there is this idea that the war goes in your favor and then goes against you. So there is this going back and then returning. And there are certainly paths that the Soviets and the Western Allies are attacking you from. And there's this feeling of stages of siege. It's a bit more versatile than that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like single paths that they interact with one another. But yes, there's a feeling.
Yeah. And this is it's a multiplayer game, but it can also be played in solitaire?
It can be played multiplayer can be played competitively, so you can have 4 players and one of them can win, even if Germany collapses. And then you can play it cooperatively, so that if Germany collapses, all the players lose. And then you can play it solitaire too, because the AI of the game, which is the one that manages the allies, that is the same, whether it is cooperative or competitive. So the main core of the game is the same one, whether it's cooperative or solitaire or multiplayer. It's exactly the same. And it works fine. It's very funny, not funny, amusing. as a solitaire play, and it plays faster too, because there are no debates on where you should send reinforcements and so on.
I know that one thing that called my attention in this game is that each of the factions is trying to place its generals in positions of power, right?
Yeah.
So you got a lot of infighting. That's the way you reflect the infighting in the German high command, because you have these factions. But just to give an idea to the people watching the video, how many generals do you have represented in cards?
54.
54.
All generals up to February 1945 who were either heads of army or heads of army groups for longer than 2 months.
Okay.
All represented. That was where I drew the line. There may be some more generals later on. It comes out as a Kickstarter project or whatever. But those are the ones that were in command of an army or army group up to February 1945. Because after February 1945 was chaos, so you had generals being dismissed and being appointed one after the other, and it's very difficult to keep track of that. And also, the nature of the game is that you have 1 turn per season. Okay, so one general that stays in command for 2 months, it's below the scope of the game.
Okay.
But you have 54 generals. So this is, for instance, I'm starting to set up Barbarossa. So you have von Leyb here, you have von Bock here, and you have von Rundstedt here. And these are the 3 army groups which are going to invade the Soviet Union in Barbarossa. I'm setting it up. This is Army Group Center, Army Group South, and you will have Army Group North there. And the idea is for you to advance here. You have like these digs here, and the advance of the German armies is monitored like that. You start gaining control of different areas that will give you production and so on, or you will lose production if you lose the areas, and so on. So yes, there's this idea that you march that way and then you are slowly pushed back, or not so slowly pushed back if things go.
Yes, and then you have the Eastern Front, right, which is color coded here in light brown, and you have what, the Mediterranean Front down
Exactly, the Southern Front, which is the Mediterranean front basically, and then you have the Western Front.
You have the Western Front, and then in each, what do you call the big boxes? Areas?
Yeah, these are called areas, and these are sectors.
Oh, sectors.
So you have different sectors, and you can control the sector. So in an area like this, if you have the German or the black disc here, it means in the highest number, it means that the whole area is controlled by Germany.
Okay.
If you had something like this, if you invade the Soviet Union and you had something like this, then this area would be disputed.
Okay.
And when you push the Soviets out of there,
then
it would become controlled by Germany, and then you would win that production. As soon as it is disputed again, then you would lose the production there. Because it's all about production. You have the resources here, and you have to decide where your resources go. Whether they go to...
Sorry about that.
Okay. Somebody else ripped it earlier.
I just want to have it straight so people can see it. Okay. So you're saying about production.
Yeah, you have the resources there, and you start with 12 resources in this particular scenario, and then the addition of the different categories has to be 12. And you have replacements for the Wehrmacht, replacements for the Luftwaffe, replacement for the strategic war, which is the submarine war and the bomber war, and then you have military directives, political directives, and production directives for the invasions, for new weapons, for...
So you have few resources and a lot of necessities.
Exactly. You have to decide how you're distributing them each season of the war. And each player has a different function. So there's going to be somebody who's going to be the head of production, and that is the person that's going to be making those decisions there.
Okay, can you clip that on?
Yeah.
Okay, I should have done that at the beginning. So the thing about the generals, like you can place them in commanding army groups, right?
Yeah.
This is a general card here. This is the most senior general in World War II. That's Gerd von Rundstedt.
Okay, let me focus here. There you go. We got von Rundstedt there. So
Yeah.
he's available in 1939, I suppose?
Start in 1939, yes. This means that he's the old guard. There are different groups of generals. There are different groups. You can have then from the old guard, you can have sympathizers, which are Nazi followers. You have professional generals, like, for instance, Manteuffel and so on. And you also have anti-Nazi generals, okay, which are the ones that are going to try to get the war end as soon as possible, because there's that possibility. One of the players may be a traitor. There's a point when goals are distributed among players, and there are 5 goals and there are 4 players. One of those 5 goals is the traitor, or in this case, the hero, because he's the one
the anti-Hitler,
the anti-Nazi player. He's going to try to get the war finished as soon as possible, but these are secret roles.
Okay.
So you don't know what each of those people are trying to achieve.
That way you reflect the history of the fact that there was anti-Nazi elements in the high command.
Exactly, yes. For instance, von Witzleben, I don't know if it's here, he was actually part...
He won one of the plotters.
Exactly. You see, he's...
Oh, there you go. You got the anti-Adolf symbol there. So you got, and so they have several ratings, and I mean,
you have
not the best people end up in the most important positions because
this is the army.
Yeah.
So you have the higher number is seniority.
Okay.
And the second number is how much Hitler trusts you.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So if you're going to be appointed, it's seniority first. So this guy is always going to be appointed over this guy.
Yeah.
No matter how good he is for the job or whatever, okay? But then if he makes a mistake and he becomes questioned, you turn him around, and the following turn you have to roll one die, and if you roll higher than that, he's dismissed.
Okay. Well,
so the lower the number, the easier he is to be dismissed.
Who is the one that Hitler loves the most? Who has the highest rating there?
Rommel and Model.
Rommel and Model. That's interesting because Rommel was flirting and going around with the plotters.
So they say.
And Model was an ardent Nazi, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Rommel actually never lost the job. After he lost in North Africa, he was kicked upstairs. Okay. He was promoted to Army Group Command in Italy, and then in France.
Had a lot of pull with Hitler for that.
Exactly. So he was never actually dismissed. But even if you have a very high rating like that, if you happen to roll the same number as your rating, as your trust rating, you become a dissident. And that's what happened to Rommel.
Ah, okay.
He was defeated, and historically he rolled a 6, and he became a dissident. Okay. So generals can become dissidents in the flow of the play as they lose battles and so on. So there's that possibility, and that did happen to Rommel. He became a dissident.
So this is also semi-cooperative, right? Everybody has to.
No, it is absolutely competitive. It's cutthroat.
Oh, okay. So
it's cutthroat.
But how does the game end and who wins?
The game ends when either Germany collapses or in spring 1945. And the winner is the player with the highest prestige.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter, even if Germany collapses, it means that the guy who is playing the OKW is probably going to not win the war because he didn't manage to hold on to the end.
Okay.
But the dissident player is going to get many points because the war ended sooner than it actually did. Okay. So no matter when the game ends, there's going to be a winner. Okay. But the dissident has to be careful because if he's found out, then there's a penalty to his prestige if he's found out.
If he's found out that he's the traitor.
Exactly, and that is also one mechanic. So there's, if you have played Battlestar Galactica,
no, I haven't.
You have these hidden roles sort of thing going on. The same thing happens here. There's a hidden role. So you are managing your generals, you are managing the war, you're responsible of an area of the war, you're responsible for some generals, but you're trying to push your agenda. You're trying to get what you want.
And you said it's up to how many players?
It's from 1 to 4 players.
From 1 to 4 players. Okay.
It plays best with 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, you can imagine because
And
of that.
solitaire. I think 2 is not the best number. 3 and 4 is very good, and solitaire it works also very well.
So NAC is going to publish it, and NAC publishes in English and Spanish. Are the cards in any language, or how are they going to do with the cards?
cards are in Spanish, so they're going to have 2 different versions of the game.
Oh, okay.
So it's not going to be one bilingual version because
okay. So they're going to
like there are 260.
That's what I thought. It would
something
have
cards.
been too
Exactly.
too
So there are
onerous.
going to be 2 versions of the game. There's
Okay.
going to be a Spanish version of the game. There's going to be an English version of the game. Completely the same game.
Are they
but
going to publish both at the same time, or?
That's the idea. It is
Okay.
to publish. Actually, it's already ready to be published in Spanish. This
Okay.
is the final printing
Spanish
copy
version.
of the game.
Okay, great.
But we are waiting to get the English version and get them out at the same time.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm looking forward. This was one I saw in 2019. You were showing it to Volko, and I said, man, this is really something different, and I think it's extraordinary, you know, that
I actually owe Volko that this is going to be published, because I didn't intend it to be published. It was, you know, you do it because it's a challenge and because you like to have fun with your friends. But then I showed it to him and he told me that it was a very interesting game. He was very flattering. He gave me very good ideas, very generously. So yes, there's a very high percentage of this. If this comes out, it's thanks to him.
So I guess
I'm very much
you're going to have a thanks to Volko in the rule book.
I'm very much indebted to Volko. Yes, very much.
That was very nice of him. Yeah, and
he's a very nice man.
Yes, and he likes the hobby, and this is, you know, it is history. The only people who are in this position in World War II are the Germans. They have this central position, they're expanding, and then the Reich is contracting. So the only situation is with them. So,
yeah,
and I think it's amazing, and I think it's gonna be a game that is gonna be appreciated by a lot of people.
We hope so. We have a lot of faith in the game and how it works. It's a complex game. Mm-hmm. It's not you know, it's not a beer and pretzels kind of game. It's a complex game. There are scenarios you can play short scenarios in a single session, but it's a complex game. But we do believe in it, and I think that people who love history and people who take a critical approach to history are going to learn. They're going to reflect on how things worked and how such a hideous regime as this, how things worked inside it.
The inner workings of the regime.
Exactly.
They make fascinating no matter what, how despicable the regime is. You know? But it's history. So I appreciate it, Carlos, and I wish you the best of success. So
thank you very much.
As soon as I'm going to be one of the purchases over there.
Thank you very much.
Especially now that NAC has a website for U.S. and Canadian wargamers over there.
And we trust you will have a video.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think that
you can count on that.
That would be great. It's
yes.
The Stuka Joe treatment.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you around.
Okay, see you. Gracias. So that's al otro lado de la colina, the other side of the hill. We saw this morning El Rey del Norte. They're still going at it here with this Brotherhood and Unity, which is also distributed by NAC because they distribute other games. I think we saw this table this morning. We've been going at it now for 1 hour and 4 minutes. And this is NAC. They sell games here. Here's some of their games. They're selling games over there. So we will be doing some more videos, maybe on a specific topic next time. Let me see if I can sit down and take a look at your questions and see if there are any questions. So that's the hall here in the 6 Bellota, and it is, what time is it? It's 6 o'clock here in Badajoz, Spain. And this is going to keep on going like until midnight, I suppose. So here we are. And yes, we are busy here, but it's all good and fun. So thanks for tuning in. I think that's going to be all for now. I'll probably do some more live streams later on today. And as I always say, this is Stuka Joe signing off for now. Thanks for watching, guys.